From the NBC studios in Burbank, California, The Tonight Show with Jay Leno. Featuring Branford Marsalis and The Tonight Show Band. Tonight, Jay welcomes Billy Crystal, the music of Shanice, and economic correspondent Robert Krolwich. I'm Ed Hall. And now, Jay Leno.
Let's see how you all feel in 30 years. This, of course, is The Tonight Show. The one TV program Dan Quayle hates even more than Murphy Brown. Yeah. Sure you all know about this. Dan Quayle, very upset with the TV program Murphy Brown. He says the idea of Murphy Brown giving birth as a single parent is damaging to the morals of our youth. Well, I think that's unfair, huh? I mean, I don't see him criticizing Porky Pig and Donald Duck for running around all those years with no pants on, huh? Sure, how about that? In fact, Quayle was quite serious about this. He says Murphy Brown giving birth out of wedlock mocks the importance of fathers. In fact, Quayle said just the other day, where would I have been without my father? Where? Probably Vietnam, huh? There's one thing you can say about Murphy Brown you can't say for sure about Dan Quayle. At least we know she'll be back in the fall. Yeah, so that's pretty much a given. But not just Republicans. Democratic candidate Bill Clinton said he is also troubled by the amount of sex portrayed on television. Clinton says where he comes from, sex is a deeply personal matter between a candidate and his campaign volunteers. Yeah, it's just... deeply personal. But you know something? You know, the most annoying thing about this campaign is we still don't know where the candidates stand on the issues. I mean, all we know for sure is that Ross Perot hasn't said anything, Bush hasn't done anything, and Clinton hasn't inhaled anything. That's all we know. We got some Perot fans here, probably? Well, the latest polls show Ross Perot is ahead of all the other candidates. You know, it seems the less Perot says, the more popular he gets. This is a point Dan Quayle has yet to grasp. Don't say anything. But enough about the candidates. Have a lot of out-of-towners here? Folks came from out of town? All over the place. Let me be the first to welcome you to Los Angeles, or as President Bush calls it, Operation Desert Storm, the home game. You know, it was amazing to me that we had federal troops stationed on the streets of Los Angeles. In fact, you seen those new recruitment posters? Join the Army and see Hollywood Boulevard. I'll tell you one thing, it was great for Bob Hope. It was the first time in his career he was able to entertain the troops while standing on his back porch. You know, you know what I like? I like when the presidential candidates take advantage of this kind of thing. Do you all see the candidates touring the riot-torn areas? Well, here's the part that was interesting to me. After the candidates walked through the area, the looting stopped. You know, after the candidates walked through, people stopped looting. I guess they figured once politicians have been through a place, there's nothing left to steal. You know, that's it. And here's one of the odder stories about the riots. This is true. Madonna's bra was stolen from Fredericks of Hollywood. I'm not making that up. One of the famous bras she uses in her stage show, still missing. Big reward being offered for it, but police fear it may have already been broken up and sold for scrap metal. Yeah. But one positive sign, the looters are continuing to return things that were taken during the riots, which is good. I think that's nice. In fact, today, Kentucky Fried Chicken announced someone had returned 5 of the 11 secret herbs and spices, so I think that's good. Yeah, it's nice to see. Nice to see. You know, I'll tell you one thing. A lot of the looters who stole stuff from Sears are starting to regret it, boy. No, it's not that they're afraid the police are catching up with them. It's just that Sears keeps calling them day and night trying to sell them those stupid extended warranties. And of course, you know, boy, there's been a lot of finger-pointing over who's to blame for the riots, you know. Bush said it's the fault of the Democrats and all their social policies from the 60s. Clinton said it's the Republicans' fault. Today, Police Chief Al Gates says that he knows whose fault. He said it's the fault of the Japanese. He said if they hadn't invented that stupid camcorder, none of this would have happened. Now here's an interesting item. Medical researchers at the University of California have developed a new heart attack resuscitation device that uses a common toilet plunger. I'm not making it up. It's in the paper today. It uses a toilet plunger to resuscitate people that have had a heart attack. That's great, huh? As if doctors aren't expensive enough. Now you gotta call a plumber, too? And last but not least, in Texas, it turns out those bees that stung the man to death, you read about that? They were not killer bees after all. They weren't killer bees. Turns out they were just ordinary honeybees that were really upset over the Rodney King verdict. Yeah. Anyway, we have a good show. Billy Crystal is here. The music of Shanice. And Robert Krulwich, economist Robert Krulwich. Now, ladies and gentlemen, now before we get on with the show, I'd like to take this moment to tell you all about a special cause that we here at The Tonight Show hold near and dear to our hearts. Please take a look at the monitors right here.
This is Leona. Leona lives in a cold, dark room, 6 by 8, with no windows, no hot water, and worst of all, no room service. However, there is hope thanks to Feed the Felons. I'm Ed Hall. Did you know that for as little as $271 a day, you can provide Leona with the bare essentials she needs to live? Things like hors d'oeuvres, maid service, and those little mints for her pillow at night. And Leona's not alone in her suffering. There are many more. People like Jim, Charlie, and little Manuel. All part of the fastest growing group of underprivileged people in America, the needy greedy. With your sponsorship, each month you'll receive an update on your felons' progress, including their appeals, parole reviews, and a special calendar marking their release date. And twice a year, you'll receive a personal letter from your felon containing a keepsake made especially for you. So what do you have? Send your money to Feed the Felons, Beverly Hills, California, 90210. After all, if we can get them to like prison, who knows? Maybe they'll stay there.
Welcome back. You know, please give generously. You know, when you're putting a show like this together, obviously music is a very important part of it. And when we went looking for a musical director, I had one name at the top of my list. Now, I'm not kidding. This was my first choice. And you say to yourself, boy, whenever you can get your first choice, that's the way to go. He's on the road more than I am. I tracked him down through a bunch of different places. I finally got him. We talked on the phone one night for about 9 hours and realized he's the best man for the job. From Louisiana, New Orleans, Louisiana, Branford Marsalis, and the Tonight Show Band. Good to see you, my friend. Now, see, this is what I told you it'd be like. You know, he was doing a gig in some little backwater place, and I caught you right at the right time. Remember, I said, you didn't want this gig at first. Remember you said that?
Yeah, I said no. I said thank you, but no.
Yeah?
And I went back to the guys in the group, and I said, funny thing happened. Jay Leno called and said, we want us to be the band in Tonight Show. He said, what'd you say? I said, I told him no. He said, are you crazy? Tell him yes. Call him back and tell him yes. I called him back, called you back, said yeah.
Yeah, well, this is good. When I told you could do the kind of music you want to do, sounds good to me.
That was it.
Now, we should explain. People get asking, this is not a bell-tone miracle ear in the side of your head, is there? That's what that's what we use to communicate with the guys.
What? What did he say? What did he say? No, it's, basically, I have to be in communication with the booth, for those of you who don't know. So while we're playing the music, and, it's like you hear lovely things like, 15 seconds, 5 seconds, stop, shut up, don't play. So that's what this is.
Well, explain, introduce us to the band.
Okay. What? 15 seconds? Oh, okay. So I'm going to introduce the band.
Okay.
From El Paso, Texas, Mr. Sal Marquez.
Sal Marquez.
On the trumpet.
Kind of the Hispanic Jay Leno-looking guy.
Yeah. And on the trombone, from Livermore, California, Matt Fenders.
Now, Matt has something he wants to show us. Matt, now, you said you had a surprise for me. What do you got?
My daughter made this.
Oh, that's great. Is that supposed to be me?
That's you.
Very talented young woman you have there. Good, good, good. All right.
And on the bass from Detroit, Michigan, Mr. Robert Hurst III.
Robert Hurst III. Now, you see, that's... Apparently, he was our third choice. First and second were not available, sad.
On the drums from Pittsburgh, PA, Mr. Jeff Tane Watts.
Yes. I think we picked him right off Liberty Avenue for this job, didn't we?
Near the Big O, right?
People know, yeah, near the Big O.
And from Philadelphia, Pennsylvania, Mr. Kevin Eubanks.
Kevin Eubanks. A lot of people I know Kevin is the son of Bob Eubanks from the dating game, I guess.
They look a lot alike to me. Yeah. And on the piano from Brooklyn, New York, Mr.
I heard of that.
David Kirkland.
Kenny Kirkland, yeah. And of course,
last and certainly not least.
and our most attractive band member.
Absolutely. From San Francisco, California, Vicki Randall.
Yeah. Branford, welcome aboard.
Good to be here again.
Be right back right after this. Branford Marcel.
The Tonight Show will return with our first guest, Billy Crystal.
Welcome back. We are coming to you live. You're seeing this right now as it happens. We're not on tape. It's live, live, live. And I can't think of a better way to kick off the show than with my first guest. Boy, he's an old friend of mine. Popular actor, terrific comedian, and his new movie, Mr. Saturday Night, opens later this year. Please welcome Billy Crystal. Comics can't leave well enough alone.
Is this the 60s?
Yeah.
It's weird. I saw Ed McMahon on the corner with a sign that said, "We'll announce for food." What the hell's going on here, man?
Only me. Thank you very much.
Something's going nuts. I have to tell you something, Jay.
Yes, what is it now?
No, I mean this. You know, we go back a long time.
A long time.
20 years, and...
So emotional.
No, I'm moved because... the build-up for this, you know, has been tremendous, and I just want to say, I'm gonna miss you. It's just, you know, And I felt so bad about this that, you know...
What do you have there?
Well, it's a little thing. Last week, you know...
Why do I think I should go to commercial right now?
No,
What is this? What are you
stay
gonna
with
do?
me. Last week, I saw Bette Midler sing this song, too. And, you know, we know each other a long time, so just trust me. I was so inspired by what...
What, are you gonna sing?
No, I mean, I was so inspired by what she did that I decided to rip it off. And, Bet, if you're watching, Jay, this is for you. This is for after 20 years.
Oh, I see. Right here.
Dear Mr. Leno, I am writing this to you, and I hope that you will read it so you'll know.
You're gonna get me in trouble. Go ahead.
My heart beats like a hammer, and I stutter and I stammer, 'cause you're now the new host of The Tonight Show. I guess I'm just another fan of yours, and I thought I'd write to tell you so. You made me first guest. I didn't want to do it. My agent really blew it. I like your set, but that picture of the sea now, it makes me want to pee now. The movie I just made don't come out till fall. Why am I here? I've nothing to plug at all. Jay, your competition is growing, as you know now. My mother has a show now. If my son is out there, call me. We'll be right back. This night is like a test, and though it's crass, you will kick Arsenio's ass. Your jokes are just as funny. Hope G is paying you half of Johnny's money. I'm proud to be your first guest. Oh, Jay, I'm proud to be your first guest. Mark Shamer on the piano, who wrote those lyrics with me.
Very good. Very inspiring.
Thank you. I thank you, Beth. Hey, this is great.
This is great. That's the great thing about live. They can't edit any of it out.
No.
Yeah. Now, let me ask you something. Now, you...
What are you yelling at me for?
Oh, no, I'm not yelling. You're just a little music.
You got the job.
You know, you're acting like your co-star, Jack Palance. He was on here with you.
Jack.
Now, he's crazy. He's a crazy man.
You think? I think Jack could use a little decaf. Yeah, I think. First of all, he was the greatest guy to work with.
Oh, he's a nice guy. I mean, we're teasing, but he is fun.
No, we're not. He's a wild man.
Yeah.
He's a great guy. We had a wonderful time making City Slickers, and he was, you know, he's a presence. You know, he's a phantom. I don't know what he is, but he's a great actor, and I learned a lot from him. Every day. Would you just calm down? Stuff like that. That would help. And then he went a little ballistic on the Oscars, you know, which was, but, you know, it was great. You know,
great to see.
I was so happy that he won. The first movie I ever saw was Shane.
Is that right?
Yeah, and then I loved him in that, and then got a chance to work with him, and I actually created the part of Curly in City Slickers for him.
No, that's got to be neat to see
It was
somebody that you've always admired and put him in a movie like that.
And then he shows up on time, and he works so hard, and then we pulled that little calf out together, and then he wins an Oscar, and I don't even get a goddamn nomination.
Hey,
It's wild. No, he's a terrific guy.
Huh? Yeah.
Terrific man, and he's...
Can I have the mail come directly for you?
Absolutely.
We'll take a break. We'll be right back with Billy Crystal right after this.
More with Billy Crystal after this.
first guest, can I be the first one on the show to say, what a band? You know, Branford and I were in a movie together. Branford was in Throw Mama from the Train.
Right. Yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
There you go.
Yeah, it was on today.
It was on today?
Well, you know, now you
What
guys
flight?
are... It was... What flight? I've been in movies that had their premieres on planes.
Oh, that's
you know.
the worst.
Yeah.
Yep. Don't you hate that when you see, you know,
People walking out, you
I
know,
saw
that's
City
the-
Slickers. Well, I saw City Slickers on a plane about 3 times, and in the middle of the movie, there's Dallas down below there, and oh, that must drive you crazy.
It's terrible, you know. You work so hard to put little moments into pictures, and then you hear that stuff. Just big moment in City Slickers. You hear, well, the person who ordered the kosher meal, please raise your hand. You know.
You know, let me ask you something. There was a story I heard attributed to you about Red Fox. Now, is this? I've heard a million different versions of this. Tell me the definitive.
Yeah, this actually happened to me, and Red was one of the funniest men who I've ever met in my life. This happened to me in 1977. It was my first time I've ever played Vegas. So I'm there with Helen Reddy, and I meet Red in the afternoon at a prize fight. And he said to me, why don't you come and see my show tonight? It's at 3 o'clock in the morning. Come and see it. It's at the Frontier, 4-wall the place, which means whatever they make, he makes.
Right. He sells it.
He sells the whole thing. It's his show. He said, be my guest. Bring whoever you want.
3:30 in the morning?
3:30 in the morning. So I said, great. So I had 2 friends in, and Janice and I, and our 2 friends go over to the box office at 3:30. Took a nap before you go to see Red.
Right.
And I go to box office, and I go, hi, I'm Miss Crystal, and we're Red's guests. Red has no guests. Well, I just was with him all day today. He said, well, Red has no guests. I said, but Red has no guests. Go in, take care of it. They sit down. There's 12 people. It's 3 o'clock in the morning. Waiter comes over. I said, hi, before we order, I want you to know Mr. Fox's guest. He goes, Red has no guests. I said, I was with him today. Yeah, everybody was with Red today. He has no guests. I said, well, is he here? Because I'd like... No, he don't come till the show is on. He said, he comes when the show starts. Yeah, you'll see. There's 12 people there. So now the show starts, and I'm getting a little nervous, and the show starts with a magician and his assistant. They do a thing, and then there's some topless dancing going on, and there's now 9 people in the audience. You hear a car pull up. Door opens, bum, bum, bum. The dance is finished. The announcer goes, ladies and gentlemen, Mr. Red Fox. Big band. Ba-ba-ba-da.
Oh, the theme, yeah.
Red walks out, sees 9 people. He starts a tirade. He gets so upset at the people who came. 7 people, 6 people. It's only 8 minutes into the thing. He says some stuff I was ashamed of, and I grew up in New York.
Right.
From the bottom of my heart, he screams the worst you could scream, throws the microphone down, and walks off after 7 minutes, and the band goes, ba-ba-ba-da, ba-ba-ba-da, ba-ba-ba-da. 7 minutes. You hear the car pull away, and the waiter comes over and goes, 185.50. Red has no guests. That's a true story. It's the greatest. I told John Bonner the story, and John was doing soap at the time, which I was doing, and I called him up. I said, John, you can't believe the story. So now whenever John and I see each other, we never say anything except ba-ba-ba-da, ba-ba-ba-da, ba-da-ba.
Let me ask you about the movie now. Mr. Saturday Night, you play the comic.
His name is Buddy Young Jr., yeah, and it's my directorial debut.
Oh, is that right?
Yeah, I directed this movie, and
you work with Jerry Lewis, right?
And thank you. And in it, for a lot of the movie, I play a 73-year-old comic. Right. And one day, for one day only, I had a chance to work with Jerry Lewis. Mm-hmm. Jerry and he plays himself, and I'm at lunch at the Friars Club in New York, having lunch, and Jerry stops by, just a brief little cameo, and we insult each other for about a minute in the script. And you know, when you direct something, you know, you make a movie, you shoot the same scene from many different angles, but the performance has to be the same. So when you edit it, the words all fit, so it becomes one scene. So I had one line to Jerry as he left, which was, "Where you going, France?" Right? And Jerry, 5 takes, gave me these moments, and these are outtakes from Mr. Saturday Night. Yeah, this is not in the movie. This is how much fun I had
now
with
we
Jerry
have our
Lewis.
monitor. Now, let me explain to you. This is a monitor that we made ourselves using the, you know, 57 Ford retractable? We used the hydraulic pump from that. We built this in Micro. You'll be very happy. Can we have some monitor raising music, you guys?
So this is, I've said to Jerry Lewis, where you going, France? Where you going, France?
Oh, I didn't think of it, but I'm glad you said it. France, yes, I'm going to ski over. Whoa, I didn't think of it, but since you mentioned it, France, yes, I can't wait. Ooh la la and all the dirty. France, I didn't think so, but yeah, you mentioned it. Oh, no, I can't wait to go. Fly me to the highest mountains. Why, I didn't think of it, but yeah, since you said France, I'm gonna get my sled.
That comes out in the fall.
September 23rd, and I know I'll be back and
You'll be back,
to show
you
you.
plug it
And
again.
I just want to tell you how glad I am that you're doing this.
Good, thanks, pal.
Great.
Thanks for coming on. Be right back right after this. Billy Crystal.
Next, the music of Shanice.
Welcome back to Tonight Show. We are coming to you live on the success of my next guest's current album. Inner Child has made her an international sensation. The first single, I Love Your Smile, has hit the top 10 in a dozen countries and went #1 right here in the old USA. Please welcome Shanice.
love to smile, I really do.
Just great. Just wonderful. God, I can't walk upstairs and talk. I know I can sing and jump around. Now, the most amazing to me, you have to tell me, I didn't believe this. When did you graduate high school?
91.
91?
I'm 19 years old. I just turned 19 on May 14th, actually.
That's unbelievable.
Yeah.
Well, that's terrific. This is just great. Congratulations. The album is Shanice. You got to sign this for me.
Sure.
Okay, be right back right after this. Shanice.
Coming up, economics correspondent Robert Krolwich.
Welcome back. All righty. My next guest has a very important job. As the economics reporter for CBS, his job is to explain to us why the economy is in such bad shape here. So let's meet Robert Krolwich. All righty. Now, as a reporter, you cover Congress, right? And all that type of
I do
thing?
occasionally cover
You can
Congress.
explain what's new there? What's the big thing in Congress now? When they...
This week, Congress will be considering a bill which, for the very first time, would punish a company that paid its bosses or any employee more than $1 million. Which, it's not that Congress is against the idea of having somebody make more than $1 million. It's just that the whole business of paying bosses has become completely irrational,
Right.
which I actually could be very happy to describe to you.
You have a
using
graph?
A very simple graph, knowing that the budget of this show is not quite what it was, say, 4 days ago.
Right. Yeah, it'd be a shame if we couldn't put a guest up in a hotel for the night.
CBS paid for my trip here to Los Angeles, and so I thought that they would do that. Anyway,
They'll have to pay for it back, too. But go ahead, yeah. No, explain your graph. This
is a line which comes from the Simpson Company in New Jersey. These are very, very highly paid executive compensation consultants.
All right.
They describe in this line basically the profits of American corporations over the last 10 years.
Oh, sure.
If you look at the line very closely, you will see that there have been no major improvement in profits. In fact, during the recession here, profits have gone down.
Profits down here.
All right, now you hold on to the profits, Jay.
Okay.
In the second part of the graph, the yellow part, we will show executive compensation. Now, bosses, after all, are paid to create profits.
Right.
If they've been up like, if they've been up like this, the bosses should deserve a lot of
Right,
money.
that would
if
be
they're
more
down
dough.
like here, they should some. But look where they are.
Ooh, way down here
Way
now.
down here. Well, not so far down.
Look, when he lower, you're going to give me a hernia with this thing.
All right. Here is executive pay over the last 10 years from the Simpson Company in New Jersey. This changes here. Like this. We're going to go like this.
Now, not being an economist, I would guess it's gone way up.
Yeah, it's gone way up. Way up. Look at this. This is a kind of a shock. This is what the businessmen are making, which is diddly. This is what the businessmen are earning. Something is wrong with this picture, right?
Mm-hmm. Right.
All right. So that's the situation that Congress has prepared.
But why is that? Why are they making so much money if they're not... How can they pay them that if there's no profit coming in?
Good question. And you go to the top of the line. Last year, 1991, you know how much the #1 businessman got paid? This is a guy who worked at Heinz. So he makes tomato ketchup. He's a very good businessman.
Oh, this guy
this guy, yeah. Also, tuna. He does tuna fish.
Right. How much did he make last
Starfish.
year? What?
$75 million.
$75 million?
Now, that represents so long to pay. The guy is a very good salesman of Nine Lives cat food also.
75, that's a lot of dough.
All right, so you just want to make it a sum you can kind of understand. Let's assume the man takes 3 weeks of vacation, okay?
Right.
Works 10-hour days. Give him that.
Okay.
I've written it on my hand here. He makes every day $310,293.38. Every hour, read the hour number.
31,029.34.
Good. Yeah.
31,000 an hour?
An hour, which means that he could come to work on the first day of work in 1 hour. First day of work of the year, he will earn more money than most Americans earn in a year. Give him 2 hours, he's in the top 5% of income earners. After lunch, he's in the first percentile.
But then you could never afford to take a day off.
On the other hand,
Which don't you lose?
Or you could lie down for quite a long time.
Why is
now,
that?
the question becomes, like, how do they get away with this, right? There is basic system that's been in place for about 25 years, which is only now just breaking down. I'd like to demonstrate it for you, if I may, using all three of you, if I could.
All right.
This represents a picture of a chairman, any chairman of any company. Okay?
Okay.
Billy, just start with you. All right.
Okay, that's...
Now, before you do anything with it,
Nobody told me about this. What do I do?
All right, now I'm going to keep it down on your knees. Okay? All three of you guys are best friends.
Okay.
All three of you guys are chief executives of companies.
Okay.
All right?
Okay,
Let's have an annual meeting. You're all on each other's boards. I'm your compensation specialist.
Alrighty.
Go ahead, get in the picture.
A quick annual meeting.
Here, all right? Quick question. How much do you think this guy's an average executive or above average executive?
He's above average.
Above average. Can he get average pay or above average pay?
Above average pay.
All right. I've just done a survey of all your salaries. Average salary is about $1 million. You say above average. Let's give him. You vote for $1.5 million for this man?
$1.5 million.
Also, I do. All right. Shanice, take the chairman thing. All right. You two are now on her board. All right. I've just done a new survey. All right. Shanice. Shanice Wilson, all right? You think she's an average executive or an above average executive?
Above average.
Deserve average pay or above average?
Above average.
I have just recomputed the averages. Factoring in Billy's new salary, I've now discovered that the new average is $1.25 million. How about $2 million for
Let's make it $2 million.
And away we go to you.
Where we go to
You
me.
see, you understand what's happening here. All right, you two are now on her board. You are best friends with the man. Is he an average executive or above average executive?
So what you're saying
average
is...
pay or above average pay?
Above
You take
average.
$3 million for the man? $3 million? And see, it goes like this. It's a sort
So
of...
these guys are all friends and they vote each other pay raises.
And until this year, the system has been completely closed and completely self-referenced. Yeah.
Do they do that with this frame?
At this frame. 45 annual meetings.
Shocking. Shocking.
It's
Well,
breaking down, though. It's
it was
breaking
down, and I'm certainly, that cleared it up for me, ladies and gentlemen. We'll be right back right after this. Okay.
We'll be back with more of Shanice.
Alrighty. Once again, from her hit album, Inner Child, which has been signed personally to me, Shanice.
Loving you is easy 'cause you're beautiful, and loving you is all I want
Just great.
Thanks.
Ooh, and so cute, too.
Thanks.
She's cute and a good singer. Right back right after this. Great, great.
The Tonight Show with Jay Leno will be right back.
Thanks, folks. I want to thank my guest, Shanice. This is her album, Inner Child. Boy, just terrific. Beautiful voice. Beautiful voice. Robert Krulwich, thank you very much for that explanation. And Billy Crystal, my good friend, thank you. And the movie is Mr. Saturday Night. Tomorrow night, Tom Cruise will be here. We'll have Simply Red. And from Sister Act, Kathy to Jimmy. And, of course, Bradford Marsalis. Thanks, everybody. Not bad if I do say so myself.
Featuring Bradford Marsalis and the Tonight Show Band. Tonight, Jay welcomes Tom Cruise. The music of Simply Red. And from the movie Sister Act, Kathy and Jimmy. I'm Ed Hall. And now, Jay Leno.
Welcome to the Tonight Show. Welcome, welcome. I'm sorry we're a little bit late here on the East Coast, but we're just watching the game back there. Anytime you can win $20 from Cruise, it's a good deal with me. Anyway, good to see you. Now, have you heard about this? Oh, boy. Bush administration very worried about September 7th. You know about this? September 7th, rather. That's the big day, September 7th. That's the day CBS plans to rerun the Murphy Brown episode, and they're afraid Dan Quayle's going to think she had another child out of wedlock. Yeah. Actually, Vice President Quayle has expanded his criticism of television from family values to the environment. Now he says we have a hole in the ozone layer because Marge Simpson is using too much hairspray. Yeah. You know, see, this thing spreads. This whole controversy is starting to affect the other candidates as well. In fact, yesterday, Bill Clinton was asked where he stood on the Murphy Brown pregnancy, and Clinton said, hey, I never even touched her, okay? Well, here it is, the end of May, so that means, of course, there's going to be a lot of graduation ceremonies going on. Got some college kids here, college students? Yeah. No, I said graduating college students. Yeah. Well, President Bush was just at the University of Notre Dame where he was given an honorary doctorate. See that in the news? I'm not sure what his degree is in, but I think we can pretty much rule out economics. Yeah. And speaking of economics, USA Today reported that President Bush's personal assets grew by over $1 million last year. His personal assets grew by over $1 million. So it's pretty obvious he's not letting his son Neil handle his investments, huh? Now here's kind of a strange idea. I read this in the paper this week. The Bush administration wants Los Angeles to sell its international airport to help pay for the urban renewal. Well, I got a better idea. Why don't we sell Washington Airport? This way the president can stay home and work on some of these domestic problems for a change. Sure. Here's a good idea. Now, let me ask you, do you think... Is it a good idea selling the airport to help pay for urban renewal? I mean, who's going to buy an airport anyway? I mean, what are the Hare Krishnas looking for a new training center? I mean, what are you going to do with it? And the New York Times says, the New York Times says the White House is getting very concerned about this Ross Perot guy. They say that President Bush is concerned about Ross Perot's outsider stance. You know, people see him as an outsider, and they're trying to figure out how to cast President Bush and Vice President Quayle as outsiders. I know a good way. Just wait till November. That's probably the best way. But we have some Perot fans here. Anybody going with Perot? Yeah? Well, you see, I don't get it. I don't get it. You know, the guy is still debating whether he should run for president or not. You know, he hasn't even said he's running. He can't make up his mind. I mean, he's starting to get the feeling that maybe Perot is the French word for Cuomo. Actually, Perot said he first started thinking about running seriously for the presidency when he got over 1 million calls urging him to run. Imagine that, 1 million calls. Isn't that depressing? Come home from work, hit that answering machine, beep. 1 million calls, beep. Hi, this is Larry, call me back, beep. Hi. But Perot did say, if elected, he may name Lee Iacocca to a high-level position. He didn't say what position he would give Iacocca, but I think we can pretty much rule out ambassador to Japan. Yeah, I don't think that's going to go. No. But Pat Buchanan is still in the race. Old Pat, you remember Pat Buchanan? He's kind of the conservative idiot savant of the Republican Party there, you know. Have you heard his newest idea? He wants to build a wall along the U.S. border. He wants to build a wall. I don't know. I think a lot of Americans might go for it if they just be sure he'd stay on the other side of it. Yeah, I think oh, there you are. And Democratic candidate Jerry Brown took 2 L.A. street gang members whitewater rafting last week. Did you see that on the news? I guess this was kind of a boys in the woods kind of experience. What's that all about? Then Brown met with some other gang members, and this is true, he asked the gang members to vote for him. But then the gang members, some of the gang members said they couldn't vote for him because they were convicted felons and they weren't allowed to vote. This is all true. Well, I can understand that. I mean, you can't let convicted felons vote. Hey, they might put dishonest people in office. and family values. Family values is a big issue in this campaign. Last week, President Bush said the government cannot replace families. And you know that's really true. I mean, let's face it, if the government could replace families, I think Ron and Nancy Reagan would have replaced daughter Patty a long time ago, yeah. You know, Patty, the annoying daughter of Nancy and Ronald Reagan, she's got her second tell-all book out. Now, how do you write a second tell-all book? This is what I don't understand. I mean, didn't you tell it all in the first book pretty much at this point? Anyway, in the new book, Patty Davis claims that her mom, Nancy Reagan, was hooked on tranquilizers. Oh, just hooked on tranquilizers all the time. But see, that shows you how close Ron and Nancy were. I mean, Nancy took the tranquilizers, yet it was always Ron that was dozing off. That's close. That's close, yeah. And last but not least, here's something I can't believe. People magazine is reporting that Tammy Faye Baker is seriously dating a man who supposedly left his wife to go out with Tammy. The guy left his wife to go with Tammy. The article said that his friends are concerned about his judgment. His judgment? I'd be a little more concerned about his eyesight. Anyway, we have a good show tonight. Tom Cruise is here. The music of Simply Red. Simply Red is here. And from the new movie Sister Act, Kathy Najimy. But right now, as you may or may not know, General Electric is our parent company, and General Electric is known for being a thrifty company, probably, I guess you'd say. See, I know that they're very happy with the Tonight Show. They called me today. They said they're very happy with everything. It's just that they have this idea that, well, you see, they just feel that having to change hosts every 30 years is not cost-effective. You know, it's just timely, it takes money, and they want something that would go a little bit longer than 30 years. So the engineers at the GE Research Labs in New Jersey have come up with what they consider to be the talk show host of the future. Ladies and gentlemen, from the GE Lab in Secaucus, New Jersey, please welcome Zed, talk show host of the future.
Thank you. I'm Zed, prototype of the ZX line and the future of home entertainment. Well, what kind of audience do we have here this evening? Anyone here ever go to high school? Good. Anyone from out of town? Good. Where are you from, sir?
Sacramento. Pennsylvania.
Good. Always glad to meet someone from your town. So, Tammy Faye Baker and Dan Quayle walk into a McDonald's and they fall and they can't get up. Oh! Thank you. You know, we at GE have been catching a lot of flack lately over our nuclear power. No nuclear power.
You get this thing out of here, will you? All right, this... I think my job is pretty secure, huh? We're right back with Tom Cruise.
Next, The Tonight Show welcomes Tom Cruise.
Welcome back. That rather odd gentleman there was Zed. He'll be appearing June 14th at the Ford's Theater in Washington, D.C. in front of the President at the Toronto Comedy Festival for a week beginning June 15th. Very odd sort of guy. Hello, Brantford.
How's it going, Jay?
Let me see. Let me check my hip schedule here. Was that Miles Davis I was hearing?
Very good, Jay.
Very good. Very good, ladies and
Miles Davis
gentlemen.
composition entitled Milestones. As a matter of fact, yesterday, on our opening night, on our debut, was Miles Davis's birthday. So in tribute to him, all of the songs we play tonight are going to be Miles Davis songs.
Oh, that's good.
With
Very good.
exception of
Very
him.
good. Did you know, Brantford? Did you know I used to tour with Miles?
When?
Oh, God, you were about 11.
I was probably about
No,
negative...
You're 10 years younger than me. When I was about 22, I used to work with Miles.
You were 22, I was...
11.
You sure? You sure? You sure about that?
Yeah, and I'll always be 10
So I
years
was
older
50,
than you.
what?
So no matter how good you get, I'll always be 10 years old.
Okay, fine, whatever you say.
All righty. Moving on. My first guest, one of the most talented actors of our time. He's played starring roles in such films as Top Gun, Rain Man, Born on the 4th of July. I haven't finished. His latest film, which I've seen, it's terrific, it's called Far and Away. Please welcome Tom Cruise. How are you, my friend?
Doing great.
It's good to see you.
Good to see you.
Yeah, come back, watch a game, do a show.
Yeah,
hey,
watch
hang
the
out.
basketball game, you know,
Yeah.
this live idea, you know, going
That's
live.
fun.
Yeah.
Sure. You don't have to
It's
dress
great.
up. Just come
Yeah,
on,
just
take it easy.
Come as you are.
But see, you can wear that kind of stuff and look good. You see, I barely pass in this. But see, no, you look
Oh,
good.
you look good. You look good.
Yes.
Congratulations.
Why, thanks.
Congratulations. That was
Well,
a
thank
great
you.
show last night.
Oh, thanks.
Yeah.
Thanks.
Terrific.
Oh, what do you see tonight?
Yeah, I can't wait to see them.
Oh, we got this cruise guy tonight.
Who?
Oh, this cruise guy. It'll be unbelievable.
Who? Never heard of him.
Let me ask you, where did you get... I know you started fairly young. Did you do this as a kid? You weren't a kid actor, were you?
Well, I did it when I was about 5 or 6 years old, and then I didn't do anything for many years. And then my senior year in high school, I did a play, Guys and Dolls.
Oh, you did Guys and Dolls?
Yeah, I did Guys and Dolls.
Now, which character were you?
Nathan Detroit, Frank Sinatra character.
Oh, really? You sing and dance?
Well, barely, but I, you know.
Really? You can sing and dance? Yes? I knew you were. You know, I'm not the kind of guy that would embarrass somebody and put him on the spot.
You toured with Miles. Let's see you first. You go, then I'll go, Jay.
Oh, no, I was doing something. Do you remember any of the songs?
I had all my song all prepared last night, and then I turned the show on, and Billy came on.
Oh, the Billy did the singing, yeah.
I thought I didn't want to do the same thing as Billy, you know, so.
Is that tough singing in high school? You know, being in a players band, when you have to sing in front of your high school buddies, that's gotta be the worst. Isn't it though, really? You know what I mean.
Yeah, you're always worried. How are these guys? You know, you know, I think I kind of surprised them.
Yeah.
You know.
Because you knew you wanted to do this.
Well, after I did that, I really decided this is what I wanted to do. I didn't know what I wanted. I knew I wanted adventure in my life, and after that evening, it was adventurous, and I thought, this is what I want to try.
Take a chance. Now, your buddy is here tomorrow night, too, Estevez, Emilio.
Who's that?
Oh, some obscure actor, friend of yours. Yeah.
I know. We've been talking on the phone about the show. I was trying to get him to play a clip of Far and Away for me, because I said, what are you going on the show for? You don't have a movie coming out. Just come out and say hello to Jay. You know?
Just come out, say hello, thank you very much. Now, he's a big practical joker, isn't he? Isn't he like a guy?
Yeah, he can. He's a good practical joker.
Has he gotten you? Is that something?
Well, actually, I got him. We were doing The Outsiders, and they were all working late, and I had the night off, and I had nothing to do. We were in Tulsa, Oklahoma at the time, and there's nothing to do that evening. And then, so I got the keys to everyone's room, and I short-sheeted their beds and put honey on their doorknobs because they were getting in about 5 after a 14-hour
Honey
night.
on the doorknob? That's a new one.
You know, and on the toilet seat, and, you know, in the, you know, everywhere. So then I fell asleep, and 6:30 in the morning, I got obscene phone calls from Emilio Estevez.
Really?
Yes.
You know,
I said I didn't appreciate that.
Did he fall for each one, grab the knob, sit on the john? Get in the bed.
Each one, get in the bed, in the sheets.
Tear the sheet, grab the knob.
It was on the doorknob, the honey was like, oh, no. In there, on the, you know, all the way through.
Flushing tennis balls down the toilet, that was a big one when I was a kid.
Really? I've never heard of that.
Oh, yeah, because it would stick like... and no water would come up.
Is that right?
And then Mr. Swenson, the janitor, would have to come with a plunger. And that was a big one.
The tennis, I'll have to remember that.
Oh, they used to put, in junior high, they put dogs in lockers. It wasn't really as cruel as that, but...
Dogs in lockers?
You'd hear, whoa, and the janitor would open each locker going... Don't try it at home. Don't try it.
You guys sound like you're pretty wild. The old tennis ball
we were
trick.
a wild group, all right. Oh, boy. Now, are you still doing the race car driving thing?
You know, I haven't driven in a couple of years because I just haven't had time. You know, and I'd rather spend the weekends at home.
Spend the weekend at home with the wife, kind of domestic guy now?
Absolutely, yeah.
Putting honey on her toilet seat and
Yeah,
stuff?
short-sheeting the bed.
Short-sheeting the bed.
I'll be up in a minute, hon.
So what are you doing for adventure now? No more race car driving?
No, skydiving and...
skydiving's more dangerous, isn't it?
Driving through L.A.
Yeah? Now, does she go skydiving?
Yeah, she skydives. We do it for, you know, relaxation. It's very relaxing.
You know, that's got to be scary, though. Some guy puts up the money for this film. Hey! I mean, really, can you do that?
Yeah, we dove into the set at the Daytona 500. We dove into the set on the 100th day of shooting on that movie.
I mean, they must go... Did they let you do... Well, I guess they can't stop you, but...
Well, you know, they realize I've made it, you know, I'm pretty careful.
Yeah. Well, you can't be pretty careful. You make the one mistake.
One mistake. Yeah, you know.
Okay, well, we'll come back. We'll talk about the movie.
Great.
We'll show a clip right back at Tom Cruise right after this.
More to come with Tom Cruise after this.
Tom Cruise, and the new movie is called Far and Away, and I saw the film the other night. Boy, I really enjoyed it. You know, I haven't seen one of those, if you don't know about it, it's 70 millimeter, which is like, I don't think they've shot a movie in 70 millimeter.
Not since Ryan's daughter, David Leno.
Oh, yeah, it's one of these big Vista.
Yes.
Well, tell us, you obviously.
No, you go ahead. You're doing a great job.
Well, I liked it because of 3 periods. They showed Ireland, they showed Boston, and then they showed the Oklahoma. They showed the Oklahoma land rush. And
from Boston.
You know what? But they had those scenes where, remember those old westerns where the guy would drive the wagon and fall under the wagon and get dragged by the horse? That guy's still working. I saw him in your film. Yeah.
Same guy. Yeah, what I mean, the reason I chose to do the film is, I mean, obviously it's an epic backdrop, but it's a very intimate love story also. And one of the things that, for me, was exciting was the humor. You know, it's dramatic and it's humorous, and it's a great date movie and just a lot of fun. And we had a great fun making it.
Well, tell me about, you know, it is a good date movie. Because, you know, I mean,
you walk away, you feel good. At least that's the audience. I've never had a picture where people have, you know, just applauded throughout the picture and really walked away feeling good. And that, I mean, is incredibly gratifying. I'm very proud of the movie, and all of us have had an experience that we'll never forget. But, you know, that's icing on the cake. I've never sat in an audience and watched a picture of mine. I've never...
Yeah. So is that right?
I've done it, like, a couple of times in preview audiences early on, but never at this stage where after opening weekend, because this film really means a lot to me. And, you know, they walk away and they applaud, and you know, I've gotten great response from it.
Well, you know, someone said to me they thought the scenes with you and Nicole arguing were so realistic. And I said, well, of course they're realistic. They're husband and wife, they argue anyway. Right? So you just turn the camera on.
No.
Tell me about the bowl scene. Now, that's not the clip we have, but this is the one everyone talks about.
Well, what would you like to know, specifically?
But if you've seen the film, I guess there's a scene where you're wounded and you're lying naked, and they put a bowl over your head, was it? No, not over your head. And they put a bowl over a private part of his body. Now, here's my question. Now, obviously you're a pretty powerful guy in the business. Do you have a say over how big a bowl they use? Let's see how big an ego you have here. Which?
No, I just take whatever the prop man gives me.
Probably. You know, well, you'd be in real trouble, you know. So you wouldn't have... Which one of these would be the same as total? 4 bowls or no? This is... But that... I'll get these stupid bowls. But actually, it was very fun. There was a lot of comedy in the movie, which I liked a lot.
You're just going to leave them there?
Sure, why not? It's just... Which bowl would you have chosen? Okay, now let's see.
No, you know what? I just say, look, bring me whatever you think. And that's what the prop guy did.
Oh, okay, and that's what they did. And then they have that little scene peeking under the...
And the peeking under and...
Now, is that embarrassing as a guy? You're lying there naked for what? Because it's what, a 5-minute scene?
Took my clothes off, went to work.
Yeah, that's... But is it embarrassing you're sitting there? Well, your wife is on the set, too, so that's kind of...
Yeah.
Making sure that...
Well, yeah, she was more concentrated on the scene, and it was actually quite an easy day for me. I just had to lay back and keep my eyes closed while the scene's... Because I'm unconscious. Yeah. So she's the one that's carrying the scene.
I was going to say that's how most people get the job, but yeah. But anyway, we have a clip. We have our... Let's raise our monitor. Branford, our monitor going up here. This little screen doesn't do it justice because this is really a big screen movie. But this is in Boston now, this scene, right? This is where you're in the...
This scene's in Boston, and the two of us are living in a house together as posing as brother and sister.
Right.
And the tension is building.
It's about, what, 1892 or something, right?
That's 1891 or 92, right, and
okay.
she's a bit tipsy in this scene.
Far and away.
Hello, Grace.
Hello, Joseph. Will I be seeing you in church tomorrow morning?
Sounds divine and holy, Grace. We can share a pew, me and you.
Toodaloo.
Same to you.
She's got an awfully large chest to be going to church.
Shut it. All chests are equal in the eyes of the Lord.
She goes into the confession box. She'll never come out, the little tramp.
Grace isn't a tramp. She's a dancer in the burlesque.
That isn't dancing. That's kicking her knickers up. And I suspect if you asked her to, she'd kick her knickers off.
You know, that was something else I thought was great. Boy, you had the accent down. I'm from Boston, and I know an Irish accent. And sometimes when I watch actors, especially in a big film like this, it slips in and out a little bit. And boy, you really did your work. I mean, I tease you and everything, but boy, you're a fine actor. You should be very proud of this movie. Tom Cruise. Thank you, Tom. I know you got to go. Yeah.
Coming up, the music of Simply Red.
My next guests were just named Band of the Year at Brits England version of the Grammys, and they'll be appearing in concert this Saturday at the Southern Star Amphitheater in Houston, Texas, performing the song Thrill Me from their hit album Stars. Please welcome Simply Red.
Okay. I'm the one who took you for granted. I've made my mistakes. Wake up, let's not break up. You got a love so strong. You just can't do me wrong. Wait till tomorrow night. I wanna treat you right. Come on.
All right, thank you, Mick. That's terrific. This is like the biggest selling album in history, or CD rather, in England, eh?
Yeah, I found out a couple of weeks ago. It just blew my mind, really, to think about that. You know, you think about albums like Sgt. Pepper and everything, and this one has just gone past it. It's,
Well, that's just one. Well, I can see why. It's a terrific album. It's I can hear why, I should say.
Big thrill, you know.
Now, let me ask you something. I was noticing something. Is that it looks like you have is that a ruby in your tooth?
Yeah, yeah.
Now, obviously, that's not a hereditary thing, I don't think.
No, it ties in with a childhood ambition, I think. I remember seeing this guy on a TV, blues guitar player. He had this diamond in his tooth, and I was about 15 years old, you know. And I thought, wow, if I ever get some money, man, I'm going to do that. I really want to do that. It's so cool. You know, you're looking up at the TV like this.
Oh,
and so I got the money in the bank one day, and I thought, well, go and do it, guy. So I did it.
There you are. You know, just my luck, I'd get punched in the mouth. Yeah,
you know, it's nice to be a child now and again.
Yeah, that's because people must think, oh, you got a slice of pizza or something.
Well, I normally tell them, yeah. In America, yeah. In England, I'd tell them it's a piece of red cabbage.
Oh, yeah, there you are.
Yeah, it's more like it.
Now, were your folks musicians? Was your dad a musician or anything like that?
No, my father was a hairdresser. This is the in-joke, so there you go.
Your father's a hairdresser? Well, he must be very proud.
He was my hairdresser a long, long time ago. Not now.
Everybody rebels in their own way.
Yeah.
So you're on tour now? You're off to Houston, it looks like?
Yeah, I'm in Houston, New York, through Canada, and back over to Europe again. I'm traveling around. I'm traveling around until about April next year.
Oh, terrific. Well, you're going to do another song in a little bit, eh?
Indeed.
Take a break, and we'll come back near and do some more music. Be right back. Simply Red.
Actress Kathy Najimy is guest.
Of course, we are coming to you live all this week, which is something kind of new here. But as it may be, my next guest is a fine actress, a director, and a writer. She won an Obie Award for her performance in the Catherine Moe show off Broadway, which I saw, which is a very, very funny show. She's now in a new movie called Sister Act. Please welcome Kathy Najimy. It's nice to finally meet you. I have admired your work.
Thank you, me too. You know what I have to tell you? Last week, my friends and I had a party in New York.
Mm-hmm.
In celebration of your inauguration, because you're one of the only talk show hosts who isn't racist, sexist, homophobic, and doesn't think with your penis.
Well, thank you very much. Thank you very much. Well, the week is still young. It's only Tuesday. Listen, I'm glad we got that out of the way. Now,
it's true. It's very refreshing.
Well, thank you.
Thank
Now,
you.
we were trying to come up with the origin of this name. Najimy, now what is that?
Lebanese, full-blooded Lebanese.
Oh, Lebanese. Okay. Well, yeah, sure, makes sense.
All right.
So obviously you must have a picture of Danny Thomas in your home.
Every Lebanese.
That's what every Lebanese person
on the altar.
It's on the altar.
Right, with the cedar tree and the grape leaves.
Got the grape leaves around the side. Oh, that's very funny.
It's a prerequisite for a Lebanese home.
See, most people don't know that.
Yeah. Well, there you go. Me and Danny Thomas.
You grew up where? In California?
I grew up in San Diego, yeah, but I live in New York now.
Now, you seem like a New Yorker to me for some reason.
My whole life growing up, everybody, would say, hi, how are you? How's New York? Everyone thought I was from New York, and finally I just started saying, yes, I'm from the East Side. It's what 9-year-old I'm going, it's wonderful. I love New York. Yeah. But no, I'm from San Diego. It's a nice, quiet town,
Yeah. Now, you travel with your dog all the places.
I do. She's in my contract. She's the first thing in my contract.
Your dog?
She comes with me, yeah.
Did you bring your dog tonight?
No, she's in a locker back there.
Oh, I see. I figured the animal rights people would get on me for the dog in the locker. So you take what kind of dog is it?
She's perfect. No, I don't know. We got her at the pound. I was in Baltimore doing... Oh, my God.
A lot of people here from the Baltimore Pound, apparently.
And I was doing my show, and my boyfriend John was with me, and I woke up one morning, and there was milk coming out of my breast. So I said, honey, we either have to get a dog or have a baby.
Ah.
And so he said, let's go to the pound. And so...
I would have gotten a dog for other reasons, but I guess that's fine, I suppose. Certainly a good reason to get a dog. What is the dog's name as we venture further into
Her
this?
name is Al Finney.
Al Finney is the dog's name. Like the It's an English terrier.
No, yeah, she's a British dog. No, I was watching The Tonight Show one night, and the lovely Sammy Davis Jr. was on. And he is good friends with everybody, and so he calls everybody a nickname. And he said, you know, I just did something with Bobby Duvall and Bobby De Niro and Kathy Hepburn, you know. And he said, and I just did a film in London with Al Finney. And we thought that was the funniest thing we'd ever heard, calling Albert Finney Al Finney. So we named her Al Finney.
Oh, that's...
There you go.
No, but it's the funniest thing I heard, but I can understand that, sure. There's just Al Finney.
Well, Al Finney, I don't know.
That is funny when
He'd
people...
call you JJ.
People do that, like they'll say,
Yeah.
well, who's another name like that you always hear people in show business say? I have no idea. I can't think of anybody.
I'm with you, babe.
Well, you wouldn't say John Carson.
No. Well,
Some people
he
say
called
John.
Johnny Carson John.
Did he?
Thing. Yeah.
Oh,
It's a thing,
that's
show how good
just
friends
short.
they are. Yeah. Yeah.
So Tom Cruise would be
And I
Cruise.
called you Jack.
I see. Okay. Now, tell me about Sister Act. I saw Sister Act.
Sister Act
and she
is
plays a nun. Hard to believe at this point. But, yes. You play a nun, a very sweet nun. You're
I play
very
a cheerful nun.
Killed me in this movie. You're very funny.
Thanks. I had a good time. When I first got the script, I had no idea. The only description of this character was cheerful nun. That's it. And I thought, cheerful? I'm not necessarily cheerful, and none of my characters are cheerful, so I'm sort of agonizing over it, and I get a call from my friend Paul in L.A., and he says, turn on Entertainment Tonight, because Soap Dish is a movie that I was in. They're doing a little bit on it.
Right.
So I turned it on, and they showed a bit with Sally Field running around, and then it came back, and Mary Hart, who's the hostess, came back, and she said, oh, Sally Field, you gotta love her. And I thought, there's my nun. There she is.
So you based it on Mary Hart?
I based it on Mary Hart, yeah. I did. It was... Thank you, Mary. So I went into the audition the next day, and I said, I can either do this nun New Jersey, because I thought it'd be funny to have a nun with a New Jersey accent.
Well, so show me the New Jersey nun. What
Well,
was that?
she'd say, you know, shells and sauce for dinner, I don't know. And I said, or I could do it Mary Hart. And they said, oh, do Mary Hart. So, you know, I love everything. She loves everything. She really does.
I'll bet she doesn't love that. But, you know...
But no, it's not based totally. She's my inspiration.
It's just
I'm
loosely
an actress,
based on a Mary Hart rendition.
And, yeah.
All right. Is that what you do as an actress? Do you find a character that you like and then just see a person on the street and go, I like that. I'll just take their personality and use it.
Yeah, I eavesdrop all the time and listen to people on the bus and in the beauty salon, and then I'll probably do you tomorrow.
Oh, I'll be thrilled.
Yeah.
Well, we have a clip of you playing this the lovely Mary Hart. I can't watch the film. I can't watch Mary Hart.
It's not Mary
ever
Hart.
again.
It's inspired.
It's a loosely adapted Mary Hart interpretation. Let's take a look at our monitor here. We're going to raise the monitor. Now, this is the movie Sister Act, and Whoopi Goldberg is also in the film?
Whoopi's a sort of a lounge singer in Reno, and she sees a murder, and she hides out in my convent. And we think she's a nun, and we see her leave the convent one night. We get worried, and we follow her.
Sister Act.
Let's go. Come on. Oh, a jukebox. Oh, one song. Do you have a quarter for a song, please? No. Come on, he does. All right. It'll come back to you tenfold. Thanks. Hurry up. Oh, I love this song. Gimme gravy tonight. One dance. I'll be right back, please.
With them romancing, so what there's something extra on my mashed potatoes, give me I'm only treating everybody. You're the greatest, so give me gravy tonight.
Now, what do you have there now?
A little present for you.
I can't imagine what's in this bag.
In celebration, it's a J. Pez.
Oh, it's a Pez? It's a... Did you make this?
No. My friend, Cat Dragon, who's a wonderful artist, she made that for me to give to you.
Dragon?
Yeah. Very wonderful.
That's very good. Thank you.
See?
There's nothing like a fresh Pez. Well, that's very nice. I'll put that right there. Thank you very much.
Oh, my pleasure.
The movie was terrific. You were great, and I'm sure
Thanks.
Mary Hart will be thrilled.
God love her. God
Kathy
love
and Jimmy,
her.
right back. And your mom is here. Hi, Mom.
The Tonight Show will return with more music from Simply Red.
All righty. Once again, from their zillion-selling album, Stars, Simply Red.
You got that look again, the one I hoped I had when I was a lad. Your face is just beaming, your smile got me boasting, my pulse roller coastering. Anyway, the four winds that blow, they're gonna send me sailing home to you. Or I'll fly with the force of a rainbow. The dream of gold will be waiting in your eyes. You know I'd do most anything you want. Hey, I try to give you everything you need. I can see that it gets to you. I don't believe in many things, but in you I Her faith is amazing. The pain that she goes through, contained in the hope for you. Your whole world has changed. The years been before seem more cloudy than blue. In many ways, your baby's controlling when you haven't laid down for days. For the poor, no time to be thinking. They're too busy finding ways in life. You know I'd do most anything you want every day. I try to give you everything you need. We'll always be there for you. I don't believe in many things, but in you. I don't believe in many things, but in you. I don't believe in many things, but you.
That about wraps it up. I want to thank my guests, Kathy and Jimmy. The movie is Sister Act, and you're starring with Bette Midler in Hocus Pocus,
Yeah,
right?
the movie, we start in August.
Oh, good, good.
I'm
Mick Hucknall,
thrilled.
Simply Red. This is new album, Stars. It's a new CD, I'm Getting Old. Tom Cruise, the movie is Far and Away. Thank you, Tom. He's off to Australia. Tomorrow night, Emilio Estevez, Paula Poundstone, The Black Crowes, and Joe Pesci. And on Friday, our first sketch, ladies and gentlemen, all the presidential candidates playing Jeopardy.
Featuring Branford Marsalis and the Tonight Show Band. Tonight, Jay welcomes Emilio Estevez, Joe Pesci, Paula Poundstone, and the music of the Black Crowes. I'm Ed Hall, and now, Jay Leno!
Once again, sorry we're a little late, but we're all watching the game. That's what happens when you do live TVs. Well, let's see what's going on in the world. All the politicians are out making speeches. I guess you know that, boy. President Bush said yesterday that democracy should be America's #1 export. Democracy? Boy, it seems under President Bush, Haitians seem to be our #1 export, doesn't it? You know about this? You know about this? You know, President Bush has ordered the Coast Guard to turn back all the Haitian refugee boats. Now, you know, though the Haitians claim they're coming here for political asylum, Bush says they're really coming here for economic reasons. Now, this is the part I don't understand about Bush's thinking. He finally finds a group of people who believe this economy is going somewhere, and he sends them home. What is that? And Bill Clinton spoke to his supporters yesterday. In fact, he told them he's no Mike Dukakis. Hey, just the fact that he has supporters proves he's no Mike Dukakis. Any Perot fans here? Got some Perot people? Yeah. Here's a fact you may not know. Do you know if Perot was elected, he would be our shortest president? That's true. You know what that means? That means we'd have to swear him in standing on the Bible. Yeah, a little technicality. Actually, you know, this could turn into a real three-way race. In fact, constitutional scholars say that if no candidate wins an electoral majority, Congress would then choose the president. And, you know, if that happens, you know, they can choose from both parties. For example, Congress could choose Clinton as president if they wanted, and they could choose Quayle as vice president. Huh? Now, imagine that. Clinton as president and Quayle as vice president. I'll tell you one thing, boy. There'd be no danger of that administration bringing back the draft, huh? Boy. Yeah. Oh, we'd be in good shape. Yeah. You know, people keep saying to me, it must be every comedian's dream to pick on Vice President Quayle, and that is not true. I think it's every comedian's dream to pick on former Vice President Quayle. I think that would be every comedian's dream. And here's another thing that seems unbelievable to me. This week, the federal government said genetically altered foods aren't inherently dangerous, and they require no special testing or regulations before being put on the market. Doesn't this sound like Act 1 of a really bad horror movie, huh? This is true. Actually, one of the first new products expected is a tomato that has been genetically altered to give it a longer shelf life. See, what they've done is they've implanted genes from a Hostess Twinkie and put them in the tomato. See, this way you get a tomato that can sit on the shelf for, 20, 25 years. No problem. And the news keeps getting stranger. I'm sure you heard about this last week. Exxon Valdez skipper Joseph Hazelwood has been hired by the Maritime College of New York to teach students how to stand watch on the bridge of a ship. Boy, let's just hope he doesn't take them on any field trips, huh? Boy. And what has to be the strangest story of the week. Now, they tell me this is true. It was in the paper, so you've probably seen it. It's been confirmed in the paper, at least a story, that a man in the Philippines is having a baby. A man. Listen, apparently the man is technically half man and half woman, and he's having a baby. In fact, doctors say he wouldn't even be pregnant if he hadn't gone out and gotten himself drunk first. Yeah. I mean, imagine that. No, imagine that. Imagine half man and half woman. You know what that means? That means he could go on the TV show Studs all by himself. And here's another oddball story. This is what you look for when you write jokes every day. Oddball stories. Anybody know where Sadieville, Kentucky is? You know that? Well, residents of a subdivision there voted to allow themselves naked fishing. They voted to allow naked fishing in the subdivision. This is not a good idea, naked fishing. In fact, they had a bad accident today. Guess some guy caught a snapping turtle. Yeah. think now he's half a man like the other guy. Oh, this week, you don't want to miss it here on NBC, a very special edition of Quantum Leap. Sam goes so far into the future, he actually gets to see Los Angeles Police Chief Daryl Gates step down. You don't want to miss that one. And I'm sure you all know, Batman Returns comes this summer. Yeah. A little late if you ask me. Where was he during the riots? New movie Alien 3 is out. Anybody see that with Sigourney Weaver? Yeah. Oh, she's out tomorrow night, actually. Actually, in this movie, Sigourney Weaver plays a woman who suddenly finds herself in a bizarre prison colony filled with nothing but hostile men. Well, now she knows how Anita Hill must have felt during those Senate hearings, huh? And last but certainly not least, big business news. 2 top companies merged this week. You may have seen this in the business section. The makers of Hefty Bags have merged with the manufacturers of Depends. Now, you know what that means? That means you don't have to get off the couch for a whole week. Anyway, look, we have a good show. Emilio Estevez is here. Paula Poundstone is here. Joe Pesci. The Black Crows are here. The Black Crows, ladies and gentlemen. Now, the big trend now, if you've been watching, you know, it's starting, Leno. The negative ads, these negative political ads, have you seen them? Where candidates make themselves look good by making their opponents look real bad. You know, these are awful, these ads. So we're wondering, what if some of the greatest leaders in history were around today, you know? I mean, what kind of negative ads would their opponents run against them? Let's take a look.
George Washington. He says he never told a lie. We say let the record speak for itself. Washington says he's an environmentalist. Yet he chopped down a cherry tree. He says he wants to stop wasteful spending. Yet he threw a silver dollar across the Potomac River. And when America was fighting its war for independence, where was George? In his boat. With Washington, it's one scandal after another. And when asked if he ever used snuff, he said yes, but he didn't inhale. Don't accept wooden promises from a man with wooden teeth. Elect an honest president. Vote Benedict Arnold, a man you can trust. Romans, countrymen, lend us your ears. It's time to hear the truth about Julius Caesar. He promised no new taxes, then raised them 38%. He wasted millions on useless defense programs, like the trouble-plagued B-2 stealth chariot. Though a married man, Caesar was caught with Cleopatra on her private barge. With Julius Caesar, it's hard to tell if he's a member of the Conservative Party or the Toga Party. We think it's time to stop praising Caesar and bury him. This election day, vote Brutus. At least he won't stab you in the back. Special election, March 15th.
Welcome to the Tonight Show. And of course, say hello to Branford Marsalis and the Tonight Show band. Branford.
Hey, Joe. Hey, y'all. What's up? All right.
Now, Branford, I go in my office today, and there are 25 pounds of these things on my desk. What are these? Are some New Orleans delicacy?
Yeah, the Louisiana delicacy.
Well, what are these called?
They're called crawfish.
These are crawfish. You know, I sprayed them with Raid. Am I supposed to do that?
Yeah, you spray them with Raid, and then you eat them.
Oh, you eat them? Okay.
You gonna try one? It's a national TV audience, man.
You know, I'm working now. Gee, I'd like to know. They look delicious. And you just eat them like this? You don't cook them?
You cook them, of course, but they're cooked at a restaurant in New Orleans, in Metairie, actually, Louisiana, called Deanie's.
Deanie's, yeah?
Deanie's in Metairie, y'all. You know Deanie's? Cool.
Well, if you cook some, I'll try them.
All right, you got a deal.
But right now, I'll put them right back over here. Crawfish. Delicious. All right, we'll be right back right after this.
Jay welcomes Emilio Estevez next.
Welcome back. All righty. My first guest, one of Hollywood's most popular young actors. His box office hits include St. Elmo's Fire, Stakeout, Young Guns 1 and 2, and his next film, The Mighty Ducks. I have no idea what that means. Open sometime later this summer. Please welcome Emilio Estevez. Okay, I gotta admit, I don't know the Mighty Ducks. I never heard of the Mighty Ducks. What are the Mighty Ducks?
The Mighty Ducks, that's my team. That's, it's my hockey team. I play a young man who is a lawyer, and I get arrested for a DWI, and I have to do community service. So that community service entails being a coach for a Pee-wee hockey team.
Oh, I see.
And it's, essentially, it's the Bad News Bears on ice.
Oh, okay.
And it's a Disney film. It's a film for the kids. And the film stars myself along with 14 of the most incredible young men and boys and girls that...
Are you a skater? Did you ever skate?
First time.
Took some real acting then.
Of course, I told the director and the producer that I could skate, that I've been skating since I was 6 years old, and I was,
Actors just lie, don't they? I mean, what if you said, were you honest and said, no, I don't know how to skate, I have no idea how to do it. Would you have lost this part?
Then we wouldn't have been talking about the Mighty Ducks.
No?
No, I don't know, honestly.
So what do you do on the first day when you show up and you fall down the first day?
I've trained. I went and I hired a private skating coach, and I worked with him for a couple of weeks before I got on set, because I knew that the kids, you know, they'd been skating for a few weeks in a hockey camp, and I didn't want them to make fun of me. So I had to set an example, and I had to, you know...
Yeah, that's... kids won't make fun of you. That's the nice thing about kids, you know. Now, of course, now you just got married, huh?
Yeah.
Got married just what? April 29th, right?
Yeah, it's in fact, today is our 1 month anniversary.
Aww.
We made it a month.
1 month anniversary. And where's Paula now? She's Paula Abdul, if you don't know.
She's in Mobile, Alabama, and
she ran off.
She ran off.
No, she's working.
She's working. She's doing the tour.
No.
The tour will continue through the end of this week, and then we've got 10 days to take a honeymoon before she goes back on tour.
Oh, okay, now we have... You were telling me, do you like it? Are you enjoying being a house husband guy? Is it what you thought it would be?
I tell you, I love being married. It's the most incredible thing that's ever happened to me in my life. I mean, I feel like
How long is it now, a month?
A month.
You get that topless breakfast for about 2 weeks. That gets old pretty quick, yeah. Oh, here's your eggs, honey. You know, that's... You know.
But you know, hey, it's not all glamorous.
It's not all glamorous?
No, I thought, you know, that's why I invited your crew.
We did send a crew out. We wanted, actually, you didn't know we were coming.
Right, no, they caught me off guard.
Surprise you. Right. We shot some footage of him being the house husband while the wife was away. Let's take a look at our monitor. We'll raise our monitor here. Now this is at the Estevez home. This is footage of you just around the house taking care of things while Paula's away.
Being a house husband.
Let's take a look.
It just gets better.
You know, I always thought when movie stars married, it would be more glamorous.
Well...
Cooking something for the wife, I guess. The wife coming home for dinner. You want to have dinner ready?
I want to have it ready, right. Polishing her shoes, her boots.
I'm almost finished, Tony.
This is the one I like the most.
Boy, this...
It's all glamour.
Yeah, the whole movement has really come full circle.
Yeah.
Well, that's good. We'll talk some more right after this. We'll be right back with house husband Emilio Estevez, ladies and gentlemen.
Emilio after this.
Welcome back. We are talking with Emilio Estevez, former virgin, now married man. Now, your wife has no idea. She's probably watching this, right, tonight?
Right.
She has no idea you did that goofy tape.
She
running
has
around in that ridiculous
idea,
outfit.
No. I told her I would surprise her tonight.
This is about your secret life.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Now, I got something on you. Now, you were on here, what was it? 2 years ago, maybe 18 months ago. We talked about marriage. You said to me at the time, oh, I would not marry anybody in the business. This is not. Now you marry like the ultimate person in the business. Now.
Somehow that just escapes my memory. I don't remember. Do you have that on tape?
You should run for mayor or something. No, you said. You remember? You said that. You said, "Oh, I could never marry. Never. It would be too impossible. It wouldn't work out."
Yeah, I plead no contest. I have no idea how I could have said that.
But it's not a problem, is it? I mean, sometimes it is for some people, but it's not for you. I mean, you do plus it's such different things.
Yeah, she's got her business, I've got mine, and it's...
Now, are you a pretty fastidious guy? I mean, like, now you're married, okay? Now you're in the romance thing. You're living together now. Is one sloppy, one neat? I mean, how's that work?
We're both, like, very organized people. We like things, where when we go back to find something, we like to know it's there.
Yeah.
And I'm always picking up and cleaning and doing things, so it's,
just a tape.
Right. But,
so that was not a joke. That was real.
But I don't wear the costume.
Hey, look, what you do in your private life really is I don't think a lifestyle is, we're not here to question your lifestyle.
Thank you.
I think the freedom that you showed to really be yourself on that tape. Now, Cruz was here yesterday.
Right.
Now he's obviously he's a big practical joke, but he says you are. Is that, he was telling us about the short cheating the bed. Did you see that last night?
Yeah, actually, I caught that. We were trying to get a clip from Far and Away, because that's what we talked about.
Right.
Getting a clip from that film, since I didn't have a clip of my own.
Now, is Paula a practical joker? I mean, you like these kind of jokes.
I love practical jokes.
Yeah.
I love pulling them on people. I love having them pulled on me.
Yeah. Well, she sent us, I spoke to Paula. She sent us a tape. Do you know about this? Know about this? No, you don't know about this. No, you don't. I know you don't. No, we didn't work this out. This is a tape Paula sent. This is from your birthday. I didn't even see it. I haven't seen it. I said I will not show it until you're on there. You get hit something with pies.
Yeah.
Do you want to explain this? Do you know what it's about?
Are we actually going to play this? Or?
Yes, I'll put it on. We'll play it.
Yeah, this is in her show. She appears on stage being raised up by these wires. It's like a flying bit.
Right.
And I've been going on about how I really wanted to try the harness, the Peter Pan thing, right? So on my birthday, she said, "Today's the day you're going to try the wires." So I got in the harness and I got up there in the air and
take a look.
I was a target. Is this queued up to any particular?
It's all queued up. It's all ready to go. Throw the switch here. Let's see what this is. There you go. Oh, there. Oh, the lovely couple. All right, look how sweet.
Putting the harness on.
Putting the harness on. And now, where is this? The Forum or something?
This is in Montreal. There I go.
Oh,
I'm
wow.
flying. Right.
Flying.
And now I'm. No, there you go.
Now they're hitting the. Oh, I see. Love it. Oh, there you go.
So yes, the receiver and the giver of practical jokes. But yeah, so I'm a little surprised that that's actually here. Jay.
You had no idea?
No, I had no idea.
There you go. And how's the rest? How's your brother? Good? Everybody good? The family is good?
Well, yeah.
All excited?
Yeah, everyone's working and healthy and happy. Yeah.
That was terrific. Listen, I know you got to go because I know you got things to do. I thank you for coming by. Thanks for bringing the tip. Very funny.
Yeah, that was fun.
And thank Paula for sending me the other tape.
All right, I
appreciate
will.
it. Emilio Estevez. Right back right after.
Stay tuned for Joe Pesci.
Okay, welcome back. everyone probably remembers seeing my next guest when he played Jake LaMotta's brother in Raging Bull. He won an Oscar last year for his brutal role in Goodfellas. He can currently be seen as the maniac Leo Getz in the runaway blockbuster hit Lethal Weapon 3. Please welcome, okay, Joe Pesci. Yeah. Because you look like all my uncles. You look like every guy I ever grew up with.
I am.
Yeah, you are. I mean, you're like a guy to go, hey, come on, hit you in the jaw. Were you a tough kid? You tough neighborhood and all that type of thing?
Neighborhoods were tough, yeah.
Yeah?
I don't know. I wasn't so tough.
No?
I mean, I fought. That's the best I can say. Yeah.
You got it was funny to get out of fights, that kind of thing?
You mean got out of them in a funny way?
I mean, when you're a kid, you're a kid. Okay, sure, that's an interpretation.
Well, the best one I ever heard was Robin Williams said the best way of getting out of trouble if you're walking down the street, you see about 5 guys that look a little shady or something, and it's dark and you're alone. He said he used to carry Alka-Seltzer with him. And I said, what do you do with Alka-Seltzer? And he said, just before you get to them, you pop 2 in your mouth and you start to foam.
That's a good way. Did you start out in show business? Did you start out doing this?
Yeah. No, I started out at 5 years old doing stage shows and went into television and music.
Were your parents into theater? Were they theater people? Or?
No. My father just liked it and thought I would be good at it.
Yeah, just push the boy in?
He thought I would be good at it.
Yeah? I mean, did he think you'd be good at it before you decided you might want to do this? Or did he just push you out there?
Well, I was 5 years old, so it didn't matter. I mean,
yeah.
I enjoyed it, actually. It was fun. Getting the attention.
Now, I read an article. You did stand-up one time. You did stand-up comedy?
No, I didn't really do stand-up. I played in a band, and I was hiding behind a guitar poking fun at the drummer, who was Frank Vincent, who was Billy Bats in Goodfellas. I killed him.
Oh, okay. Oh, all right,
And Raging Bull, I beat him up. So Frank used to do stand-up comedy, and I would shoot lines at him on the audience's side, so they liked me, and it was funny.
Yeah.
But stand-up comedy, no. That's tough.
Never did any straight stuff.
I couldn't.
No. But you did a lot of things. I mean, you do movies, then you go out and you do odd jobs. I mean, you're really the classic sort of make it, hit bottom, go to top. Yeah. What was your first film? What was the very first one?
First film was Death Collector.
Death Collector. That was when? What year?
Death Collector was in 70, 74.
75. Death Collector was your first film?
Yeah.
Can I remind you that you are under oath, Mr. Pesci? Does the film, hey, let's twist, mean anything to you? I remind you, you are under oath, Mr. Pesci.
Well, I was in that movie.
What year was this? Hey, let's twist.
It was Joey D and the Starlight.
Is that you? We had an argument. Can we get a shot at? Now that looks like you. Can we get a shot of that?
That's Teddy Randazzo.
Who was that?
I think it's Teddy Randazzo. Teddy Randazzo and Joey D starred in it, and I was an extra in the movie, just dancing and running around.
You were doing the twist?
I got thrown off the set on that movie.
Why? Why?
Well, as an extra, you try your best to get in as many scenes as you can to be seen, and hopefully someone will give you a line to say. So I would show up all the time by the bandstand, and the director said, "What's this guy doing? You can't stay there. You were in the other scene, so you can't be seen in this scene also." I figured, but I was, just a crowd. And then there was one scene where Joey D was saying, there was a door, and behind the door was supposedly Teddy Randazzo, who was playing his brother, Ricky D. And I was walking around after getting thrown off the nightclub part of the stage, and I was standing there, and I hear Joey D say, "Ladies and gentlemen, long gone, 6 months, back now, my brother Ricky D, let's have a warm welcome." And I don't see anybody there, so I opened the door and walked out. The director threw me off the set.
Get out of here.
That's enough.
Go to the twist somewhere else.
That's enough. Yeah, that's right.
Just the idea, I would pay anything to see you do the twist, but that's another show altogether.
Right.
Can you do the twist?
No.
Can you?
I was kidding.
ask you about? Oh, stop. Yo, good rendition of the twist. Thanks, guys.
You really want to know if I can fight, huh?
No, I don't want to know.
Now, let me ask you Raging Bull to get serious. Now, because you're one of those guys, at least for me, just came out of nowhere. All of a sudden, boom, there's this Oscar-winning performance.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, did you do a bunch of films that led up to Raging Bull, or?
No, it was, you know, like this, just being an extra in that, and, you know, the TV work that I had.
Right.
And then,
I mean, when did they
Death
see
Collector.
you?
They saw me in Death Collector.
So Death Collector was 75, so it's a good...
Right.
And what's Raging Bull, 86?
79, 80.
Oh, no, that's
we
right,
made
yeah,
it,
yeah.
We made it in 80.
Okay, so 4 or 5 years
Time
later.
flying, yeah.
Boy, you know, is it really, is it that long ago?
Yeah.
I mean, this is an incredible movie. Now, you got an Academy Award nomination
Right.
for that one. So what do you think? What were you doing? Did you have another job, or were you working as an actor at that time?
I was working in the Bronx, running an Italian restaurant.
Yeah.
And singing at tables once in a while, too.
Oh, is that right?
Playing the guitar and singing at tables.
And
also.
people give you money to go away, one of those deals?
Actually, there were some guys who gave me money to go away. They actually did. They really did.
Well, that's the worst. You're eating, oh, sole me. You're letting $20 together.
Get lost, here's $20.
Did you sing Italian? You sing in Italian?
I sang Italian songs and, you know, whatever was popular, things like that.
These are things. Sing Italian songs, doing the twist. I had no idea this whole part of you existed here.
Well,
so what happens? You're doing this, and what? You get a phone call out of the blue? Or?
There was a phone call. One of the waiters who worked for me said, you got a call today from Robert De Niro. And I, get at it. But there was...
You never met him?
No, never met him at all. But there was a... I knew it was... I had hopes it was right because the area code 213, the waiter, I didn't think he was smart enough to know the area code.
Yeah, yeah.
So that's what we did. We went there, and I mean, you know, he called back, and I spoke to him. I called him. He wasn't there, and I said, sure, somebody playing a trick. And then all of a sudden, the phone rang while I was napping, and they said, we have Robert De Niro for you. And I said, oh, good, put him on. And he said, hi, Joe. Yeah, this is Robert De Niro. And I said, good. And he said, no, really, is this Joe? And I said, yeah. He said, this is really Robert De Niro. And I said, well, this is really Joe Pesci.
That's great. And you know, you do comedy great. I thought you were very funny at Home Alone.
A lot of fun.
And the Leo Getz guy.
Yeah. Well, I work hard at this stuff. You know, I heard you tell Emilio, Emilio was telling you that we work at doing these things, you know. You have to learn what you're going to do in the movie. So I went out and learned how to shoot people for Goodfellas. So it's easy.
Well, you do good work. It's
Thank
a pleasure to meet you. And shake some hands of an Academy Award winner. Very nice. Joe Pesci. Be right back right after this.
Coming up, Paula Poundstone.
My next guest is an old buddy of mine and a very funny and popular comedian. She'll be performing in Milwaukee this Friday night and at Wolf Trap and Cohasset in July. Please welcome Paula Poundstone. Okay, now this is big-time stuff. You're in Washington. I see you in the paper.
I was...
President of the United States.
Well, I mean, I just worked the White House Correspondents' Press Dinner. If had it been just the White House dinner, I wouldn't have done it because I don't like Bush, actually.
Oh, that's it.
I mean, it would be...
Well, don't hide your feelings, certainly.
Well, one time I was invited to the White House for something, and I thought, well, it would be silly to go. I was excited for a minute because it was the White House, and for a minute I was excited, and then I realized, oh, but I hate him. And then I thought... That would be like going to your neighbor's house because you like the people who used to live there.
Oh,
which seems wrong somehow to me.
Oh. All right, so now that
So it was the White House Correspondents' Press, and it was very awkward because he sat, I spoke at the podium, and he sat 2 chairs away from me, and I didn't want to be untrue to my feelings, and at the same time, I didn't want to be rude. And when I met him, I had no idea what to say. I said, good luck in the private sector. I don't want to be rude on one level. It was, yeah, it was very uncomfortable. He, actually, and then I did,
You had a clip or something.
We were gonna, yeah. I tried to get a clip, but there's some rule about how if it hasn't been shown on the news, even though they taped it, you can't, I don't know. So I actually did get,
Well, this is better than a clip.
well, let me just show
reenactment.
you a little bit of how it went. Okay, all right, so the prez, we'll call him, will say here, and then I was here, like, tell my little jokes, and, let me think. At one point, because, you know, I didn't want to be rude, but at one point I really did. I said, let me think. I said I thought it was unfair when remember the picture in the New York Times when they had the photograph of him at the Orlando grocery store convention thing?
Oh, with the scanner.
Yes, and he was running the milk carton over the scanner, and he was amazed by the scanner. And I said to him, I thought it was unfair for them to say that. That meant he was out of touch because, you know, I said it did look like he looked a little bit like an ape who had just discovered fire, but still. You guys, don't we feel that we don't want the president to be in mini markets anyways? We don't really want him to know about scanners. I want him to do presidential thing. So I said, so this is what I did. Okay, so I told him, and I said, oh, I thought they were really unfair to you that time. And he was all happy. He was like, yeah. He's like laughing and stuff. And then I went, you know when I thought you were out of touch? And then he kind of turned a little bit sad. I said, I thought you were out of touch when, after the Thomas hearings, he said he was so sorry the American people had to be exposed to that kind of language. I said, I don't want to bum you out, Mr. President, but that's why the American people watched the Thomas hearings. More people watch the Thomas hearings than have ever watched one of his addresses, for heaven's sake. I believe they're putting the Thomas hearings out on tape, aren't they?
I think.
I believe so. So anyway, so... And you know... I'm pretty sure these, by the way, are going to go like hotcakes.
Oh, yeah, those will be big, big
They're
sellers.
Paul Poundstone table puppets. Very, very popular.
Or you can turn it this way when you become part of the government witness protection program. When you, next time, by the time old George and the CIA friends get through with you, this will be you there behind the thing
they
there.
may not protect me. You know what I thought was really strange? When you were telling the Robert De Niro story about with the phone and him calling you up and saying, because that was me, and if I had ever known you were going to get a job out of that, when I called you and said that, I couldn't believe it when I heard it now. I remember hanging up the phone saying to my friends, I just fooled Joe Pesci. He thought for sure I was De Niro. It was so weird.
Well, how about some of the other candidates now? About Clinton, or Perot?
The Perot movement, I feel, is a humiliating thing for an American. He's a man who's come forward and said, you know, I'm a rich guy and I would like to have this. And no one has asked him to express his thoughts. What's the matter with us? People say, oh, well, this way here he won't be bought by the special interest. He is the special interest. What's the matter with you? He cut out the middleman.
Yeah, the truth must be told.
If he's such a patriot, give us that money. How about that? Just give us the money. And then whenever we see him, we will wave. How about that?
About your nuts in politics theory now.
Well, the last election, the one where Bush won, was one of the most depressing days of my life, actually, because I hate him, and I couldn't figure out. It wasn't just that, obviously I didn't want to be president, but everyone else was so comfortable with it, and I couldn't figure out, how I'd gone that far afield from my fellow American. I thought maybe there's something everyone else does that I don't do, or something I do that no one else does, and when I thought about it, I realized, you know, I don't eat nuts at all. And I think that there's something they're putting in nuts that would cause people to vote for Bush. Because not only do I not eat them, but they're always trying to get me to. Like on a plane, when they go by with a snack and they say nuts, and I go no, and I fall asleep and I wake up and there's a full pouch of nuts on my lap. It's just a theory. No, wait, is it?
And a good theory as well.
Well, isn't this guy signaling wildly? I feel tense now. Wasn't he signaling
No,
wildly?
he works for President Bush.
Sure, I saw
Apparently, he
him down
wants
in a
you silent.
Snickers bar earlier, and you know there's a fistful of nuts in every bite.
But anyway, let's see here. You're in Milwaukee?
I'm in trouble.
No, you won't get me in trouble. You're the one who'll get audited, not me. All right. And you're at Wool Trap and Cohasset. Republican Miss Paula Poundstone, ladies and gentlemen.
After this, the music of the Black Crowes.
Chris Robinson from the Black Crowes. This is their new album, a new CD called Southern Harmony and Musical Companion.
I gotta say, I'm a little nervous after that political tirade, man.